Hello, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. For the tarot portion, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale by Ciro Marchetti, text by Barbara Moore. The website is llewellyn.com, if I can get it to focus. Feel free to check out any of those social links, of course, and there's the llewellyn.com if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrated by Elaine Marzin. And the website is rockpoolpublishing.com. .au, A as in apple, U as in umbrella. And last but not least, I use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool. 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and a 4-sided dice to choose the element for the minor arcana. They came from the dice shop, which is mathartfun.com. I'm not sure if you can see the website. I'll try to get a little closer. mathartfun.com if you're curious to see what's there. Of course, if you'd like a reading by me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching this part, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? The cards are just jumping right out. Can't wait. Gotta go. Which is interesting because we got a bunch of Earth coming in. Deal with the devil. Okay. Alright, so they're saying you can have more fun with this than you realize. Don't be afraid to have fun with this situation. You have this under control. You can make this work. Don't be afraid to have fun with it, though. If you allow yourself to have fun with it, it'll raise the energy. Because I don't see you being cruel with it. I just see like having fun with it, letting yourself have a positive energy, letting other people be happy. There's energy around this that does not want to be happy, but don't let that set the stage. Don't let that decide who's going to be happy and who's not going to be happy. You can have more fun with this than it looks like. Okay. There have been quick decisions that you made. Are we saying that this is something that... I mean, when you have to make a quick decision, you will. That's what I get. Emperor. And the Nine of Cups, half in, half out. So, you've had to make some quick decisions that seemed like they were the best decisions. It did serve you, but it also served other people. So, I don't feel bad about this. You made some decisions that were good for you, but it also looked out for some other people. And it was based on what you knew was true. And I feel like the whole situation was not transparent. So that's one of the reasons I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I'm going to make something that's good for me, but it's going to be good for other people too. Not everything is showing itself right now, so that's the best I can do. And there's no reason to feel bad about making a decision that's good for you. Other people might try to angle it like, you're selfish or self-serving. Every now and then you got to look out for yourself. I don't feel like this was like screwing somebody else over. It just reminds me of like, if I'm going to make it really simple. Say we're getting together with a bunch of people, maybe 5 people from the family are getting together for dinner this coming Sunday, whatever. And you're the one that's going to be making whatever needs to be made. So you decided maybe you like lasagna, just for argument's sake. So you decided to make the type of lasagna you like. Maybe you like more of a Florentine lasagna, and you built it with what you know you'll like. You figured other people, you didn't realize, like, nobody is against this or that, so you're like, I don't think anybody's going to hate it. Maybe it's not going to be everybody's favorite, but I'm the one making it. Why not decide what I want to make? there's no reason to feel bad about it. Like, because I feel like it was that type of decision. Maybe, like, a little bit more important than that. But basically, that's kind of the outcome. Like, it wasn't bad for anybody else, but since I'm the one doing the work, why shouldn't I have what I want? Like, not for nothing. You're putting together the dinner, you're making it, why wouldn't you make something that you definitely like? Especially if nobody else definitely doesn't like it. I feel like there's going to be some, like, people angling it like you're it's not right. I don't know, I keep getting it like this, people are trying to color it in a certain way that doesn't quite work. I don't know why it's aggravating me, but it is kind of like people are trying to make something out of nothing. Be careful of that. Be aware of people who do that too. I feel like you probably already are, but those people are their own problem, and they can just stay that way. I got an attitude about it. I don't know why. I think I'm just catching into the flavor of that, but let's keep going. Now, that decision from the past, I feel like they're referencing it because it's gonna play into the future. Somebody's gonna try to angle this against you to manipulate you to get what they want. Just see it for what it is. You'll be fine. Because I get more decisions are going to have to be made. And I get that you're probably going into another cycle of that right now. And it's kind of like, all right, I know people like roast beef. All right, I'll make a roast beef. But, for example, if you're going to make a roast beef, I want to say you put vegetables around that. Maybe you don't like onions and you don't like carrots. So you're like, I'll put potatoes and something else, maybe yams or broccoli or whatever, peppers, certain peppers. Maybe if you can make it work, whatever. You're just putting in the vegetables that you like. Everybody likes roast beef, cool. I don't like onions and I don't like carrots, so I'm not going to put those in. Actually, I like onions, but anyway, we're moving on from that. You don't want them, so you're not adding them. It's not that big of a deal, but you're just like, especially again, if you're the one doing the work, I just don't think this is right that people are like trying to manipulate this. Just be aware of it. Because I feel like people pull fast ones and they get a quick conversation going and they think they're getting something past you. Don't let that happen. Because especially if they pull this forward in a very hectic moment where you don't have the time to step back and kind of think it out, kind of like, no, that's not how that happened. Just see it for what it is. Because more people there's going to be some complaining here. When you make the next round of decisions, there's going to be some complaining. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, because it's kind of like you're absorbing the information. As long as you don't get offended by the complaining, you can make it more optimal. I know that sounds rotten, but as long as you don't get offended by the complaining, it's kind of like we need the communication. So people are going to say stuff, and it's going to allow the situation to evolve to the next situation. Evolve in a better way, as long as you don't get offended by it. Like, am I saying something wrong there? Magician and the Four of Swords again. Alright, so there's going to be some complaining. But, like, I feel like I have to be aware. Say there's 5 people, just for argument's sake. There might be one person, possibly 2, who are complaining. Get everybody's input. Get everybody's thoughts. Not just the people who are complaining. So I feel like it's kind of like, all right, you don't like this, you don't like that. All right, let me get other people's opinions. Let me get everybody's opinions, what they didn't like, what they did like. Let's pool everybody, because we're not going to just angle this to the complainers. It's not just because certain people want to complain that they're getting what they want. We're going to pull everybody's opinions in. I feel like that's doable. All right, people are complaining. I don't know if you're not getting offended or if they're just giving you advice. I don't really know. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Do what you feel is necessary. Because I'm getting there's a possibility for this to go really, 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 really well. We just got to be aware of the complainers, because it's like the Devil's coming up, and the Devil's an Earth card, and I'm getting the King of Pentacles here, which makes me feel like this is still, it feels like it's mirroring that devil energy for that reason. Somebody's trying to set something up. Somebody's trying to make sure they get what they want in the long run. And I feel like if I keep pulling other people in and I get everybody's opinion, I can balance this better to my advantage. And it's kind of like, all right, devil, you'll get some stuff for you, but everybody's going to get some stuff for themselves too, including me. This isn't just going to go for the devil. Because as we keep going forward, more choices, more opportunities. And I'm getting like, if we're going to use that same analogy of like the making dinner, I feel like I'm getting other people to make the dinner. And I'm giving them advice about, you know, what might be easier or more complementary to the situation if they want to do it. I feel like I'm sharing the information I know, and I'm giving them pointers about, like, you know, you don't have to do the 9-course thing. Not for nothing. You can get a crock pot, throw some stuff in the crock pot, let that do the work for you, you know, and then you can, like, make some simple side dishes, and then somebody can bring a dessert for you. And this doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world. This doesn't have to be, like, holding you down and putting a crazy amount of effort. You know, let the crock pot do the most of the work. Do a couple little side dishes that don't take too much craziness, and then have somebody else bring dessert. Like, make it easier on yourself. It doesn't have to be crazy. In fact, you can even offer to bring the dessert. Like, you know, analogy. It's an analogy. Keep in mind, even when you do that, they're trying to make sure you don't get yourself set up here. It's not gonna work out perfectly. It may look like it would. It may make sense that it should. It's still not going to work out perfectly. Just keep that in mind. But still make the effort, is what they're saying. Because opportunities and choices are coming up here. More of them. More of them. Be aware, be ready for the conflict. And just realize that you didn't do anything wrong. You did what you should, and you try to empower other people. And remind yourself of that before it gets too far into this situation. Because somebody here wants to manipulate it to get what they want. And they're trying to lock it in so that they always get what they want. Be aware of it. I feel like as long as you're aware of it and you're expecting a conflict going in, I don't think that's going to be a problem, because I don't look at this like you're trying to start a conflict. I feel like I'm just prepared for one when it starts. If it starts, of course, this is a general read, but I'm kind of feeling more when. But anyway, if you're ready for it when it comes forward, I'm getting you're gonna get stuck in its tracks for a second, which is good. You're gonna kind of like, all right, wait a minute. We're all getting upset about this. So you know what? Let's skip the next one. Say if you were doing this weekly or maybe twice a month, you know what? Let's do this. Let's skip the next one, and we'll all just talk it out. We'll all just talk it out, and we'll decide how we want to restart it after that. So like if we do this twice a month, every other Saturday or whatever, Sunday, whatever. We'll skip the next one, and maybe we'll have, during when we would have gotten together, we'll just have a group call, and we'll just talk out what we actually would like to see happen. We'll just talk it out. We'll slow it down, and we'll decide what we really prefer to see happen. Seems simple enough. The devil shows up. If you see it coming and you're expecting the conflict, I feel like we could deal with the devil, and we could calm the devil down, and we could satisfy the devil's needs without being under control of the devil. Devil. I'm saying a lot of devil here. It's being above it, seeing it for what it is, and kind of like, all right, the devil wants what the devil wants. We can work with it. We just got to make sure it's not in control of what we're doing. It can control its own situation, but we got to make sure there's also a balance here. So I'm going to keep using this dinner analogy here. Kind of like, all right, you know, we're going to take turns who does the dinners, for example. And, you know, we're going to have like certain things, like certain people don't like certain things. So for example, like liver, I don't like liver. I typically don't like seafood either, is what I would say. So I'd be like, well, if we could just avoid liver and hopefully most seafoods, and then I would give like a list, like I like these 3 things seafood wise, but otherwise I'm really not a fan. And everybody does that. So like we have certain foods, like I feel like most people aren't going to be that picky, but you know what I mean. So okay, so we'll avoid these things, and you know, blah 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 blah. And then when you're the one making stuff, you get to decide what you're going to make. So, whatever that is, and maybe whoever's hosting does the dinner, but then, whoever's next to host brings the dessert. I feel like if we set it up this way, it goes easier. Something like that. And we can't have an extensive list. So we can't do what we prefer. We just gotta certain things that we just flat out don't like. So like I gave the example, liver in certain seafood dishes. I'm just nope, I don't like that. So I would be I would really so it's kind of all right, say maybe they're gonna make a seafood dish with something I don't like, and they're and then I'm well, okay, if you're gonna make that, that's fine. Just give me a heads up, and I'll pick myself up a sandwich or a sub on the way, and I'll enjoy and I'll partake in everything else, the sides and stuff. But I'll have my sub, just as long as nobody's offended that I'm gonna do that. I don't care. Have what you want. You can have the seafood dish the way you want it. That's cool, as long as you're not offended with me bringing a sub. You give me a heads up that you're going to do that. So we're doing it that way. I feel like this is a way to satisfy that devil energy without being under control of it. Are we good? So I feel like this is what this is mostly about. Because there's this energy is here trying to get control of the situation that should not have control of it. But they're if you're ahead of it and you're expecting the conflict and you're kind of seeing it coming, you can run ahead of it and kind of work with that devil energy and kind of keep it calm, keep it self-satisfying without letting it have control. And even though it might be very animate that it wants control and should have control, we're not allowing that. Pacifying it as much as we can allow. Did I make sense with that? I think I'm good. Alright. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.